Welcome to our deep dive on negotiation
Yeah.
mastery. We're going way beyond this sort of like typical hardball tactics
Right.
and really diving into Getting to Yes,
Mm-hmm.
this book that emphasizes collaboration and getting those
Right.
win-win outcomes.
Exactly.
And I think you're here because you really want to up your negotiation game.
For sure.
You know, and these concepts we're going to talk about, they really can be applied everywhere, from work to personal relationships,
Absolutely.
even to like haggling for that
Oh, yeah.
vintage, at a flea market.
Getting to yes really presents a fresh perspective on
Yeah.
negotiation. One that's all about finding solutions that work for everyone involved.
I love that.
It might even have you rethinking, those assumptions about negotiation being a zero-sum game.
It's already making me think differently.
Good.
So before we unpack the key principles,
Okay.
I'm curious about the origins of this approach. Where did this whole getting to yes philosophy come from?
Well, the book itself is really a culmination of research from the Harvard Negotiation Project.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, they were looking for a better way to approach conflict resolution,
Okay.
moving away from those traditional win-lose scenarios
Got it.
that often left both sides feeling dissatisfied.
So they wanted to find a method where everyone could walk away
Yeah.
feeling like they gained something?
Exactly. Their research led them to the concept of principled negotiation,
Okay.
which really shook things up.
Interesting.
This idea shifted the focus from adversarial tactics
Great.
to a more collaborative approach,
Mm-hmm.
where parties work together to find solutions that benefit everyone involved.
That makes a lot of sense.
Good.
So Getting to Yes was born,
Yeah,
taking these complex research findings and turning them into a practical guide.
precisely. The book distills years of research case studies and real-world examples into a framework anyone can use.
I love that.
And it's had a remarkable impact, with its principles being applied in fields ranging from business and law to government and international relations.
It's amazing to think about how these ideas have permeated so many aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
So let's get to the heart of it. What are some of those key principles that Getting to Yes lays out?
The book outlines 4 essential principles of principled negotiation,
Okay.
all centered around reaching mutually beneficial agreements while fostering respect and collaboration.
That's great.
And the very first principle focuses on separating the people from the problem.
Okay, so this is about not letting emotions and personal baggage
Right.
hijack the negotiation process.
You've got it. The authors emphasize how easily emotions can derail a negotiation,
I can imagine.
leading to misunderstandings and
Yeah.
ultimately hindering progress.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to disentangle the issue at hand from the individuals involved.
It makes sense in theory, but I can imagine it's easier said than done
Yeah.
in a heated negotiation. What are some practical ways to achieve that separation?
Well, the book offers some really valuable techniques. Active listening is key.
Okay.
Truly hearing and understanding the other person's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Paraphrasing what they've said to ensure you're on the same page is another helpful technique.
Okay.
And asking clarifying questions can help uncover the root of the issue and avoid misunderstandings.
So it sounds like taking a step back, almost like you're an impartial mediator and addressing the problem itself rather than attacking each other.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a manager and an employee consistently misses deadlines.
Okay.
Instead of jumping to conclusions or letting frustration take over, you could use these techniques to understand what's really going on.
Right.
Maybe they're overwhelmed or there's a lack of clarity about expectations.
By focusing on the problem itself, you're more likely to find a
Yeah.
solution that works for both of you.
Exactly.
So what's the next principle?
This next one is all about focusing on interests, not positions.
Okay.
And it's a game changer when it comes to finding creative solutions.
I'm intrigued. What's the distinction between those two?
Think of it this way.
Okay.
A position is what someone explicitly states they want.
Right.
Like, I want a 10% raise.
Got it.
An interest is the underlying motivation behind that position.
Okay.
Perhaps they need the raise to afford a bigger apartment for their growing family,
Yeah.
or maybe they feel undervalued compared to their colleagues.
So it's about going deeper
Yes.
and understanding the why behind what people are asking for.
Exactly. Getting to, yes,
Yep.
uses the example of a landlord and tenant negotiating rent.
Okay.
The tenant's position might be to lower the rent,
Right.
while the landlord wants to keep it the same. But by exploring their interests,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps the tenant is facing financial difficulties,
Okay.
they could discover a more creative solution.
I see where you're going with this. Maybe they agree on a temporary rent reduction or a payment plan.
Yes.
By understanding the underlying motivations, they can move beyond a stalemate.
Precisely.
Hmm.
And this is where asking why and why not becomes so crucial.
I like that.
Why is each party taking a particular position? What are their needs and concerns? And are there alternative approaches that haven't been considered?
That makes a lot of sense. By understanding the why, you can move beyond rigid positions and unlock a whole world of possibilities.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the third principle, right?
Yes. This one builds on that idea of expanding possibilities.
Okay.
It's about inventing options for mutual gain, breaking free from the limiting belief that negotiation is a zero-sum game.
I think we all fall into that fixed pie mentality sometimes.
It's a common trap.
Yeah.
But getting to yes encourages us to brainstorm and come up with multiple options before settling on a solution.
Okay.
Imagine two business partners disagreeing over their marketing budget.
Okay.
Instead of arguing over a fixed amount, they could brainstorm ways to maximize their impact.
Got it.
Maybe by collaborating on social media campaigns,
Yeah.
or partner with another company for a joint promotion.
Those are some great ideas. So it's about shifting from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance, finding ways to expand the pie for everyone involved.
You got it. By focusing on mutual gain, both parties can emerge from the negotiation feeling like winners.
I love that.
And that brings us to the fourth and final principle,
Okay.
insisting on using objective criteria.
This one sounds particularly important for ensuring a fair and transparent negotiation process.
It's absolutely essential.
Okay.
This principle emphasizes the importance of grounding the negotiation in objective standards rather than subjective opinions or gut feelings.
I see.
Think market value industry standards, expert opinions, things like that.
So instead of just saying, I think this is a fair price, you back it up with data or evidence
Yeah.
that supports your claim.
Let's say you're negotiating a salary for a new job.
Okay.
Instead of just throwing out a number,
Mm-hmm.
you could research average salaries for similar positions in your industry to justify your request.
That makes a lot of sense. It takes the emotion and ambiguity out of the equation. And I imagine this approach helps both parties feel confident that they're reaching a fair and reasonable agreement.
Precisely. Getting to yes uses this very scenario of salary negotiation to highlight how objective criteria
Right.
can lead to a mutually acceptable outcome.
These four principles are laying a fantastic foundation for a more collaborative and effective approach to negotiation. You mentioned a term earlier that I'm really eager to learn more about.
Okay.
BTNA. What is that exactly, and how does it fit into this framework?
BTNA. Best alternative to a negotiated agreement.
Okay.
It's a cornerstone of the getting to yes philosophy.
Got it.
And we'll delve into its significance right after a quick break.
Sounds good. We'll be back soon to unpack this crucial concept and discover how it can empower you in any negotiation.
Absolutely.
All right, we're back, and I am ready to explore this BTNA concept.
Okay.
It sounds like it could be a real game changer.
It absolutely can be. Think of your BTNA as your safety net, your fallback option if the negotiation doesn't go your way.
Got it.
It's about understanding your alternatives so you can walk into any negotiation
Right.
with confidence, knowing you don't have to settle for
Yeah.
a deal that doesn't meet your needs.
So it's more than just having a backup plan. It's about knowing your worth and having options.
Exactly. And the beauty of BTNA is that it empowers you to say no
Right.
if the terms aren't favorable.
Okay.
It's not about being inflexible, but rather about setting clear boundaries
I see.
and understanding what you're willing to accept.
That makes a lot of sense. But how do you actually go about figuring out your BTNA?
It starts with brainstorming.
Yeah.
Before any negotiation,
Okay.
take some time to list 3 alternative options.
All right.
That's the foundation of your BTNA.
Got it.
Let's stick with that job offer example.
Okay.
Your BTNA might be another job offer you've received.
Right.
Or perhaps it's continuing to develop your skills in your current role
Mm-hmm.
while you search for a better opportunity.
So by identifying those alternatives, you're essentially creating a sense of leverage for yourself.
Precisely. If you know you have other viable options, you're less likely to feel pressured to accept an offer that doesn't align with your goals or expectations.
It's almost like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Yeah.
And speaking of job negotiations, getting to yes mentions an example of how a strong BITA can empower a candidate to negotiate a better salary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine a job candidate with multiple offers on the table.
Okay.
Knowing they have other attractive options,
Right.
gives them the confidence to ask for a higher salary or better benefits.
All right.
It shifts the power dynamic in the negotiation.
And even if they don't get everything they ask for, they're more likely to walk away with a deal that truly reflects their value.
That's the key. A strong BAT&A provides a sense of security.
Okay.
And empowers you to walk away from a negotiation if the terms aren't right.
It sounds like BAT&A is as much about psychology as it is about strategy. It's about walking into a negotiation, feeling prepared, and knowing your worth.
You've hit the nail on the head. And there's another layer to BAT&A that getting to yes highlights. It's not just about knowing your own BAT&A, but also trying to understand the other party's BAT&A.
That's interesting. So it's like trying to get into the other person's head?
In a way, yes.
And figure out their fallback options?
If you can gain insights into their alternatives, you can better understand their position and their willingness to compromise. Imagine you're a company negotiating a contract with a supplier. If you discover the supplier has several other potential clients lined up, you might realize they're not as desperate to close the deal with you.
That would definitely change your approach to the negotiation.
Exactly.
You might need to sweeten the deal a bit to make it more appealing to them.
Understanding their BAT&A gives you valuable information about their motivations and leverage.
This BAT&A concept is really powerful.
Yes, it is.
And it seems like it could be applied to so many different types of negotiations, big and small.
You're absolutely right. Whether you're hammering out a complex business deal or simply trying to decide on weekend plans with friends. Understanding BAT&A can help you navigate those conversations more effectively.
So it's not just for boardrooms and high-stakes negotiations.
Not at all. These principles are just as relevant in our personal lives, helping us resolve conflicts and make decisions more collaboratively.
That's great to hear. So how can we actually put these principles into practice in those everyday scenarios? Give us some real-world examples where getting to yes could make a difference.
Let's start with the workplace where negotiations are a constant. Think about those conversations around salary, job responsibilities, or promotions. Instead of getting stuck in a back and forth about what you demand, try applying the getting to yes approach. Focus on your interests and explore creative solutions that address both your needs and the needs of the organization.
So instead of saying, I deserve a 10% raise, you might frame the conversation around your desire for fair compensation. That reflects your contributions and the market value for your role.
And you could back that up with objective criteria, like industry salary surveys or comparisons to similar positions within the company. By approaching the conversation with a collaborative mindset and grounding your requests in objective data, you're more likely to achieve a positive outcome.
I can see how that would lead to a much more productive and mutually beneficial discussion.
For sure.
What about applying these principles to personal relationships? Could they help with family disagreements or conflicts with friends?
Absolutely. Getting to yes can provide a valuable framework for navigating those sometimes tricky dynamics. Instead of digging in your heels and refusing to budge, encourage everyone involved to focus on their underlying needs and interests.
It's about moving from a defensive posture to a more understanding and empathetic approach.
Exactly.
A lot of families struggle with things like dividing household chores. Could these principles help in that situation?
They certainly could. Imagine a couple constantly arguing about who does what around the house. Instead of getting caught in a power struggle, they could sit down and have an open conversation about their individual needs and preferences. Perhaps one person hates doing dishes but doesn't mind laundry, while the other feels the opposite.
By understanding those preferences, they could find a way to divide the chores. That feels fairer and less burdensome to both of them.
Exactly. And this applies to all sorts of family situations, from deciding on vacation plans to navigating disagreements about finances. By focusing on interests, brainstorming solutions, and using objective criteria when possible, families can find ways to communicate and collaborate more effectively.
This is so helpful. It sounds like getting to yes can truly transform the way we approach conflict.
I think so.
Whether it's in our personal lives or in our professional dealings.
You got it. And that's what makes this book so valuable.
It
provides us with a set of tools and principles that can help us navigate difficult conversations in a way that builds relationships rather than breaking them down.
And it's not just limited to personal and family situations, right? Businesses can also benefit from these principles.
Absolutely. Getting to yes has had a profound impact on the business world,
Okay.
encouraging a more collaborative and mutually beneficial approach to negotiation.
So instead of those traditional hardball tactics,
Yeah,
companies are realizing that cooperation can lead to better outcomes
that's right.
for everyone involved.
By prioritizing mutual gain, utilizing objective criteria, and understanding each other's BAT&As,
Right.
businesses can create win-win situations that foster stronger partnerships and long-term success.
It's almost a paradigm shift, the idea that cooperation, rather than competition, can be a key driver of success in the business world.
It is. And it's not just limited to large corporations.
Okay.
Small businesses, startups, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They're all finding ways to integrate the principles of getting into their operations.
Yeah.
They're using it to negotiate better deals,
Right.
build stronger relationships with suppliers and clients,
Yeah.
and create a more collaborative and harmonious work environment.
This deep dive has been so insightful. It's remarkable how these principles,
I think so.
which originated from a research project at Harvard, have spread throughout the world
Yeah.
and impacted so many different fields.
It's a testament to the enduring power of these ideas.
Yeah.
They resonate with people because they offer a more humane, more effective,
Right.
and ultimately more successful way to navigate the inevitable conflicts and negotiations we all face in life.
Well said. I feel like I have a whole new set of tools and perspectives to bring to the table in my own negotiations.
That's fantastic to hear.
Mm.
And I hope it encourages you to approach negotiation not as a battle to be won,
Yeah.
but as an opportunity to find creative solutions that benefit everyone involved.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this exploration of getting to yes,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question.
Right.
Think about a recent negotiation you were involved in.
Mm-hmm.
How might applying these principles have changed the outcome?
That's a great question to ponder.
Ah,
And remember, whether you're negotiating a major business deal
yeah,
or simply deciding where to go for dinner with friends,
right.
these principles can empower you to achieve better results and build stronger relationships.
So true. Well, on that note, we'll leave you with that challenge. Go out there and negotiate like a pro.
Happy negotiating.